Look at all this space. I had to push my Porsche project to the side for a different project, but I'm excited to get back on it. This week, I'm gonna shoot some primer on the inner fenders and the trunk area to try to finish it up.
Garage time.
Okay, keeping up after all this bare metal and preventing it from rusting is getting old. So I really want to get the inner trunk area and this inner fender area complete so I can focus on outer body stuff. The good news is all this has been completely repaired and it's ready now for epoxy primer and undercoating. Okay, when I stripped the paint off this car and got it down to bare metal, I took a lot of care on the external panels to make sure they were well prepped for primer. But on these inner panels, I haven't finished that yet. So inside here in the seal channels and this vent area are untreated and they are not ready for primer. There's some paint cracking and the original paint needs to come off. So in order to get access to this channel and all this other stuff here in this trunk area, I'm going to remove the hood. But I don't want to lose my alignment. I'm happy with the hood position. And these hinges are perfect. You know, I spent a lot of time aligning the hood. So before I just take it off, I think I'm going to mark it with some tiny holes, both on the hinge and also where the hinge attaches to the tub. I want to preserve those locations so I can reference them again when it's time to reassemble this car someday. Okay, I just noticed on this side, this is the color matching hinge to my car. This is Prussian blue, and it already has a hole here. Never mind, these bolts are too long, but it already had a hole here. So I don't know if someone else had already done this or not, but I just put my hole inside this hole. And here is another hole for a light switch. I think it's this for this light right here. Now I've already deleted, I actually have the bracket, but there's a little lever that sticks out here. That was removed when I did a bunch of repairs to this panel, and I elected not to put it back in. Okay, I put these towels here to protect the primer as I take this hood off. If it were to slip or something, I don't want it to undo the work I've already done. Yeah, its hood's not super heavy, but you just want to prevent it from sliding. And see that stick underneath there? The stick is going to drop. When the bolts come out, the stick's going to drop. So then you have to, you know, just support the weight of the hood, and then we're going to put it right here. See this stand? Yeah, keep your left hand on the hood in case it falls, because when it comes out, it's going to shoot out. Just keep doing what you're doing. See what I'm saying? Put the wrench down. 2 hands on the hood. Where my hands are, walk around the car. Okay, set it down. All right, high five. Okay, I decided to strip all the undercoating off this trunk area. I'm not going to re-undercoat here. I don't see the point in having the undercoating in the front trunk compartment. It adds a little bit of weight. So I think it'll look cleaner, especially with all the work that I've done here in the front compartment to keep it nice and smooth. Here's a picture of a car I saw at a recent show, and I really liked it with the smooth look. Sometimes you can't be afraid just to get a little dirty. Okay, that's a pretty big percentage of the undercoating removed. I need to switch tools just a little bit to get to some of the nooks and crannies, but I'm going to take a break. My hands are tired. I'm going to move over to this area. Remember, I did some testing with the strut bar brace, and I determined that the diagonals are very useful. So on this side, I have the tabs right there, and on this side, they're not there. So my conclusion was it would be great to have a double diagonal on these strut tower braces. Pretty good. So I am going to fabricate my own diagonal crossbar here, but the priority now is to get this car painted, and I can always add the bar later. So I'm going to save that for a future video. Okay, next up is this seal strip. Goes right here on the front latch panel. And if you remember, well, you probably don't remember, this was several months ago, I made this channel and I challenged myself to make it in under an hour, because that's about how much it costs to buy one. So I ended up making this. I recorded it with the clock on the same table. If you want to check that video, take a look right here. Now it's time to weld it on. Here's a hole. This is either because I didn't put enough heat into it or hold the trigger long enough on the MIG welder, or it's because there was some porosity due to the weld through primer. So rather than just glob on more metal with the MIG welder, I come back with the TIG welder and I close these up. There's one that's unground, and this was a good one. It had complete coverage, but this metal is super thin, so I didn't want to really heat it up too much. I can feel on the backside these are fully penetrated through to the other side, so I didn't want to add any more heat and blow through. Okay, I can totally live with that. Okay, I've been filling some holes while I had the welder out. There were some holes and a series of holes down here. One right here, there's another little hole right there. There's a few other holes down here in the smuggler's box. There's one right there, and then another one below that. And here's the dashboard from the back. And those rectangular cutouts there, I want to weld those in. Let me show you from the inside. Okay, these two rectangular holes are factory holes. That's nothing that was been added. But I want to paint this dash and leave it sort of body color. So I want to make it smooth and fill in those rectangles so I don't have to add anything to the dashboard. Just keep it simple, and I like the painted dash. So I'm going to weld in those rectangles right now. Okay, now I was just going to weld in these rectangles and call it good. I've done this many times. I think I have like a 20-minute video. Click right here if you want to see how to fill holes. But I stopped what I was doing and I wanted to get this shot. I'm here inside the car. I got a foot pedal, a seat, and a helmet. So I couldn't stop but thinking about all the future things to come in this car. I wonder what will happen if I turn the key. Oh. And I am sporting my new Rennsport keychains that I got this year. It's the shiniest thing on the car. going to be deleting a lot of this, you know, dash pad rubber stuff, going with a cleaner, probably aluminum look or, you know, some kind of material on that. Haven't fully decided on the interior. To me, you know, it's really one milestone at a time. I'll worry about the interior later, but I do know the interior is going to be pretty bare. Spartan, lightweight is going to be the theme. Fully welded in, that's the little rectangle there between the gauges. So I'm going to grind that smooth real quick and you'll never know it was there. Okay, all done here on the inside. Maybe I should leave this gauge out so I can see the seam welds. Oh. Okay, that should complete the welding here in the front section of the car. So now it's just a matter of taping up all these holes and you know, cleaning up some of this unfinished sanded area. Get it ready, clean it up for epoxy primer. Yay! Okay, I just dropped the struts on both sides so I can get access to this inner fender area. I want to paint the trunk area and also this inner fender area with epoxy primer. Now this inner fender area, this outer portion is going to see undercoating. Again, I'm going to apply new undercoating, but I want to take this old undercoating off because the only thing that's left is this little section right here. Okay, I've been feverishly sanding on this car, getting it ready for some epoxy primer spray. I did a quick masking job here. It's just primer, but everything is sanded to the best of my ability, and you know I hate sanding. Yep, here it is, all completed. This is 2 coats of epoxy primer, and it is looking fantastic. So I know this is just primer, and it's just the trunk area, but you know, I've done a lot of work on this car, and I almost didn't buy this car because it had been wrecked in this corner right here, and all this metal was wrinkled, and it was pretty bad. So for me, this is all behind me and it looks like nothing ever happened. So really excited about it, really happy to be through this phase. Here's a look at those seam welds, all one color. You can really kind of see the pattern. And like I said earlier, my decision is to leave this bare. I mean, it's going to be painted body color, but I want it to be you know, stripped down, really clean, and showing all the modifications that were done here. There's the modification there for the anti-roll bar mounts. Deleted impact bumpers off the front here. Replaced the seal channel, that was done this week. Get to subscribe, like, and do all those things.